Hello, welcome to the States. Thank God it's Friday and there is a conversation going on. The show is as usual brought to you by the sponsorship of Christian Service University. Christian Service University is located in Kumasi in the Ashanti region, and they offer courses in the following areas. They offer courses in such areas as midwifery and nursing, communication, planning, and any other areas of concern to you in the tertiary space. My name is 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗓. I'll be back to introduce a topic.
The Christian Service University, a fully chartered private university in Ghana, is inviting applications for admission. Undergraduate programs include BSc Nursing and Midwifery, Computer Science, Information Technology, Bachelor of Business Administration, BA Communication Studies, Planning and Social Development, and Theology with Administration. Postgraduate programs include MSc in Accounting and Finance, Monitoring and Evaluation, Corporate Planning and Governance. We have MA MPhil Communication Studies, MA Christian Ministry with Management, Event Management, MPhil English and Mathematics Education. With quality, faculty and state-of-the-art facilities, we blend academic work with entrepreneurial mindset in all our programs. For more information, please call 0246-275375, 0240-154825, or 0244-596603, or visit our website www.csuc.edu.gh. CSU is located at Odeneho Kwadaso on the Kumasi-Obuasi Road, 100 meters off Star Junction. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa.
And to make him better known. That's
Sorry, not sure.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Get ready for a transformational morning experience.
Sorena Shrine is here to build our spirituality, mental and physical well-being.
Through positive, inspiring actions and stories.
We bring you exciting activities and conversations that develop us as a people and as a nation.
We take a look at the trending issues in Ghana and the rest of the world.
And we also review the impacting stories from our local newspapers.
Every morning, we bring you stories of hope, change, and renewal.
We empower you through the Word of God and provoke you to live the purposeful life destined for you.
Join us, Anita Kwaku
and the Reverend Ajika Vincent Agbamanya, Monday to Friday from 5:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. as we take you on an inspiring journey, live and exclusively on WTV.
You may also join us on Facebook at WTV Ghana and on YouTube at Wesleyan TV Ghana.
Sorry, not Shrine.
Wake up to a purposeful day.
Sorena Shrine is brought to you by
Danwell Insurance, Multi-Credit Savings and Loans,
and the Methodist University Ghana.
Welcome back. Let us do W Briefs. On W Briefs, what we do is to give an executive summary of the topic for discussion for the day. We flesh it out so that our viewers can understand and appreciate what is causing everybody to be talking. So presidential debates are gradually being institutionalized on our political calendar in the lead up to every election. Recently in the United States of America, we heard about Joe Biden and Donald Trump. It was that debate that got the Democrats to think that we needed to change our candidate. Some have argued that they really don't have any effect or impact on the voter. In Ghana here, we've been doing this since the year 2000. The Institute of Economic Affairs, it is the only independent public policy think tank, has been organizing this. We've had presidential debates. The unique one happened in 2012, where a sitting president, an incumbent president, took part in the debate. This year, the political atmosphere is already charged. We want to look at presidential debate. We will access the presidential debates we've had and what we anticipate to have as announced by the IEA this Wednesday, that come October, there is going to be another presidential debate. The majority in parliament is calling for it. The vice president is calling for it. The major opposition will not hear anything of that. Are we making impact with the presidential debate? This afternoon, we are going to flesh it out, and we will see its relevance to our voting in a democracy. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back for you to meet my studio guests, and then we will discuss the topic. Stay with me. Welcome back. You are still on. Welcome back. You are live on WTV, the state, and that is what we are considering this afternoon. We are assessing presidential debates and their impact on voting in a democracy. The show is, as usual, brought to you by Christian Service University. Christian Service University is an evangelical liberal arts institution established 50 years ago to train men and women with ethical values for transformational leadership in Africa. Admissions for 2024-2025 academic year is in progress for undergraduate and postgraduate programs. CSU offers dynamic and industry-driven programs in nursing, midwifery, business administration, communication, planning, and computer science. For more information, please contact our admission relations officers on 0246275375375, 0240154-825, or 0244-596603. You can also visit our website on www.csuc.edu.gh. Choose CSU today to secure the future of Africa. CSU, the University of Choice. Quickly, we start the conversation, and then we'll look at presidential debates. Ghana has had, and we are on record to have been the only country in West Africa that has had 4 presidential debates back to back. This is a unique feat, if you may call it. But what really has been the impact on the voter, on our democracy? With me in the studio is a journalist and a voter following elections over the period, and we will start a conversation. Mr. Samuel 𝗟𝗡𝐻, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
And good to have you on the show.
It's good to see you after so many years, my brother.
We'll be joined online via Zoom by Professor 𝗟𝗡𝐻𝐸. He is a political science lecturer at the 𝗟𝗡𝐻 Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Welcome, Prof.
Thank you very much. I'm not a professor yet. I'm a senior lecturer. I'm playing with your title.
Okay, so maybe because we are a Christian station, we are speaking into the future. But that noted, Dr. 𝗟𝗡𝐻𝐸. Doc, good to have you.
It's a pleasure.
Okay,
to say good afternoon to your viewers.
Thank you very much. To start off, Doc, let me ask you, the politicking, should I say, the electioneering season is here and it has started. How do you measure the temperature so far? Are they on the content, the message? How do you measure the temperature so far?
Thanks for the opportunity. Actually, I've related to this topic before. It was in the days leading to the 2008 elections. And at that time, things were actually, very tough and tight. And the expectations were high, and then people had reasons, to believe that things could get out of hand, and things did nearly get out of hand in the elections of 2008. Things did nearly get out of hand. Somehow, at the very last minute, President Kufuor's position, strong position, in acknowledging that his party had defeated and that the party had to move forward and concede. We are told, save the situation. The current environment is not a different one. Things are really tight. Expectations are very high. We know of one thing, that heightens politics, especially in the days of elections. The winner take all situation that our constitution has imposed on our system, and it raises the stakes. If there's anything to go by, we want to take a look at the high premium placed on the primaries, especially by the MPP in Ashanti region. People going to the extent of paying between 5 and 10,000 Ghana cedis per delegate. It tells you the premium these candidates place on the elections, and generally to the parties. And currently, something is happening in Ghana. It started with the whole idea that the MPP is going to break the 8. Ordinarily, this shouldn't have been, any issues, given the fact that political parties, the way I put it, are unemployed when they are not in government. And once you are in government, you want to hold on to, the political office, and of course, with all the benefits, like that time Ronaldo was, drawing Ghanaians' attention to that, the things that people in government enjoy, was not making, at that time, President Mahama was in office, was not making him acknowledge that conditions in the country were that terrible, and that, they even didn't, as one could read from the information, that came out, that they didn't even have to have hopes of winning the elections. They want to win. The MPP want to win. NDC will also want to win. Interestingly, other small parties or even individual candidates, if you engage them, they will all tell you that they are playing to win.
Sure.
All these really go to heighten the political temperature. And so we find ourselves in quite a tight race, a high political temperature currently.
You realize that anytime it's getting to a major election, maybe a government has served 2 terms, right after that, there's always a temperature rising because then they assume that you've done 2 terms, so others will come. I will quickly come to the studio, but Doc, before then, let me engage you on what is happening so far. I'm looking at the content, the messaging. Do you think as they trek the 4 corners of the country, are they centering on the policy message, or once upon a time slogans and policies were driving their electioneering or their campaigning? What do we see now as they go around? Are they drumming home a policy message, or it is just whipping up the interests of the voters?
It's the same thing. You can't go out to campaign without necessarily informing Ghanaians of what you represent as a candidate, as a party, and you need to let Ghanaians know, what you stand to gain by voting for you. So invariably, they all relate to policies. Occasionally you have jabs, but these don't dominate the message. So generally, you're telling Ghanaians about what they are going to do if they should, come into office. Some of them are not necessarily policies. Some of them are, if you like, issues related to governance, information about the size of government they will be running, particular policy actions related to the way, it's also closely related to government, the way they will not, as a policy, allow members of their government to behave in particular ways. Then, as also a way of managing the system, how they will hold their own people accountable and hold other people accountable. All this information keep coming out, and I think they're helping people to make their minds. So
okay.
Yes, they have been related to policies.
Okay, thank you very much, Doc, for your preliminary comments. I will come back to you. Let me move to the studio and then and talk to Sammy. Sammy, so what same question as I asked Doc. What is your assessment of the campaign so far, the temperature?
Yes, I think the stakes are quite high, considering the fact that we have a former president who is coming to vie for the presidency again. It's never happened in history, you know. And then again, for the first time in the history of the New Patriotic Party, the sitting vice president being the presidential candidate for MPP. This is also the first time. Ali Mama tried, he didn't get the nod. So the stakes are very, very high. As Dr. Amache said, MPP is bent on breaking the 8, whereas NDC is also making sure that by hook or crook, John Mahama will come back for the second term. So, and then he made mention, Doc made mention of the fact that there's so much money being pumped into the system. The system, yes. The moneycracy, as we have coined it, you know, is something that is really worrying, because for someone to spend about 3 million cedis to win a primaries, that's for the parliamentary, you know, the person will go to the length, every length, to make sure that he's able to secure his seat in parliament. So for the sake of the investment they have made, they want to go all out. And again, Ghanaians too, our temperature has risen high, considering the current economic issues, you know, and all those social challenges a lot of Ghanaians are facing. So Ghanaians also really want to see a drastic change, or let's say a change that will salvage the nation from whichever wreck that politics has plunged us into. So the tension is really high.
You mentioned the two major political parties.
Yes.
For the first time, a sitting vice president getting the slot to continue, and then a president who has gone and is coming back. So you mentioned this, but surprisingly, you didn't touch on any of the smaller parties that are also there, who also want to show that they are there. The statistics show that they are also making inroads, and they could cause a shake-up.
Yes, you know, one thing that some of us have always wished for was Ghana having a stronger third force, or probably getting a party different from MPP or NDC to win the election. But from my practical experience on the ground, I realized that it's very difficult, if not impossible, for any of those lesser known political parties to win an election. Looking at even how our media programming is done, you know, when you look at most of the TV programs and then the radio programs, realize that NDC and MPP, they have automatic seats.
On the shows, programs.
But the other political parties are even pleading and begging producers to put them on shows. They are not getting the opportunity. And again, you know, the stakes are high when it comes to MPP and NDC than the other political parties, because they have spent a lot and they have a lot of following. That one is something that we cannot dispute. So nobody is downplaying the role of the other political parties. But if any bad thing will even come out of the election, it's likely to come from either the MPP or the NDC. They have always been at the fore, you know, of our election.
We are hoping that it's good that they shouldn't bring us.
Yeah, but again, yes, you made a good observation with the advent of the new force, or movement, Alan, you know, breaking away from the MPP. In fact, they have added a bit more spice, you know, to the dynamics. So Yes, that's why the stakes are very high, especially for MPP, because having Alan break away from your party and he coming from the Ashanti region where your stronghold is, you know, so MPP.
And Cheddar is also from Ashanti, pulling some votes there. So it's going to be an interesting.
Yes, and then the youthfulness of Cheddar too is something that we cannot overlook. But yeah, it's still going to be between the MPP and NDC.
And then the smaller ones too will be around there.
They are always around.
They've always been around. Let's look at the substantive issue we are looking at this afternoon, presidential debates. Yeah. I know you've been monitoring, you've been following and observing. Yeah. How far have we come?
I'm not so much impressed with the presidential debate that we've had. Maybe, as you said, the 2012 when we had the sitting president, you know,
taking part in the debate.
Yeah, taking part in the debate was more, you know, at least that one was more credible and more worthier, okay, as compared to the other ones. And the nature of the debate is said that it's more geared towards the two leading political parties, you know, they centered towards the two leading political parties. And again, the coverage has not been that of a nationwide in terms of scope. For example, if you have it on one or two TV stations, there are a lot of people who don't even watch TV in Ghana here. And there are a lot of people who are not even reached in terms of the transmission coverage of those TV stations that show the debate. And I remember the debate that had Hassan Ayaga.
That was that 2012 one.
Yeah, that one he coughed. Yes, the 2012, that debate. You know, you realize that the distortion was too much. Anytime candidate Akufo-Addo was about to speak, that is when the cough of Ayaga will come. You know, so the beauty of the debate has not really shown, and then the essence, because we realize that most voters don't really vote based on the outcome of the debate.
Really?
Yes.
What was the basis for saying
so
that?
The political culture of Ghana is said that the leading influence, okay, is affiliation, primitive loyalty. I am an Ashanti, and as for we that counts,
this is the
direction we go. As for my family, this is the party we support. So that primitive loyalty is something that really outweighs any other, you know, issue. People are more party-centered than policy-centered.
Which of the voter base will we say are tilted in this line?
You know,
the percentage of our voters that are having this primitive loyalty.
If I'm to put a percentage,
because the 5 million is to NPP always, the other 5 million is to NDC always.
Yes. So that should tell you that we have about 80% to 90%, you know, towing that line. And it's not about those who are lettered or those who are illiterate. It's surprising that even with our campus elections, all these factors come to play. Oh, we went to the same secondary school. Oh, this guy is handsome. This guy belongs to my association.
Not really on the policies or the issues that you are bringing.
That has been the unfortunate political culture of our country. So the debates are there, they are good, but I don't really feel the impact. I don't see it. And another thing that has also undermined the integrity of the debate that is being organized by IEA is the fact that we've had moderators of the debate.
I'll come to that. It's an interesting observation, and I love that. We'll see the lessons and we'll see how it has shaped up. That today we have moderator this, the next time the moderator is in government. Yes. We'll come to that. Let me quickly move to you, Doc. Doc, you from where you sit as an academic and a researcher, looking at, I was asking about the voter base just to see the numbers that are influenced by debates. Can you tell us generally what you make of the debates we've had so far?
These debate issues have been interesting. Actually, it's difficult to tell whether the debates have significantly affected voter outcomes. In the absence of a survey and real numbers, it's difficult to speak to it. And I think I subscribe to what my brother at the studio has already, outlined. In addition to that, you want to say that the debates appear very much to be something in form rather than substance. This looks like, if you like, the way we do things here in Ghana and generally in many African countries, we are just interested in having debates as an end in itself. We are not really interested in looking at how these debates are, if you like, promoting the development of our politics, the development of our democracy in this country. And I'm saying this because at least for once, something has, become so clear and is playing out currently in a public realm. The rhetorics of the past on the part of some political candidates are coming back to haunt them. And looks like this debate issue, if you like, so far, in a way has been promoting such rhetorics. And once the debates are over, they move on as if they never, in a way, through the debates, committed themselves to anything. I'm not in a position really to tell between the debates and then voter outcomes generally. But specifically, but looking at it generally, definitely it will sway some people to vote, in one or another direction. Definitely to sway some people to vote. But then I'm also interested in, the debate having a substantial impact on our politics generally. Debates, especially in the United States, are taken as seriously as political parties' manifestos. During the debates, whatever it is that you put out there, is taken down, scrutinized, and later brought back to, haunt you. Currently, for example, former President Donald Trump stands accused of, if you like, misinforming or even disinforming the American people, that he put out information that are inaccurate. Put out information that are inaccurate, information about the number of people crossing, into the United States of America currently, that the numbers he put out appear to be, not that appear, that they are bloated. And also the rate of inflation, the numbers he put out also is seen as inaccurate. They just, are taking people on, and they will not allow you to get away with anything. We don't do same things here. And so there's this danger of, creating a platform for people simply to come and deceive Ghanaians. They go into political office, they close their mind to anything and do whatever it is that they want. And so, yes, debates are helpful generally in democracies, but politics is domestic. In Ghana, are we really, reaping anything, from these debates over the period? It remains to be seen. It remains to be seen. After the numbers, like I said earlier on, it's difficult to really, zero in and say that the debates are, simply encouraging many people to vote in direction A or direction B. But then I will not rule out the fact that it will influence some people to vote in particular directions.
Doc, you mentioned that it's more of form than substance. You mentioned political rhetoric as we have them. Do you therefore suggest or think that apart from debate, from where you sit lecturing students in political science, that apart from debate, are there other ways or other means of accountability? That is when it's in the electioneering process.
The debates, actually, if we were to look at the debates as providing a platform and being used, or a platform for citizens through journalism, if you like, the debate organizers, the individuals who really put down the questions, and then those who be presenting them to hold these politicians accountable. Then it's something that I think we need to look, at closely, because who are behind these debates, and who is responsible for putting down the specific questions that they put down. What happens to be the focus, and what guides them to ask question A or question B? I just said that politics is domestic. Ghanaian politics, at least so far, from 1993 to date, is here to deliver, economic goods. It's here to really work to ensure that people's life, receives significant improvement. Currently, the general understanding is that the economy has been messed up as we speak now, irrespective of the fact that this is the same period that, the Ghanaian state borrowed a lot of money, much more than any other government historically. And yet, there isn't much on the ground to relate to. So if people are going to ask questions, ask these presidential candidates questions, what sort of questions are they going to ask them? Are they going to zero into their performance in government? Fortunately, in this case, at least the two leading candidates have all been in government before. Yeah. So are we going to be relating to theoretical issues about what do you think, will be the policy to, if you like, resuscitate the economy? This will be theoretical, and any student of economics will be able to come out with some responses. So if we want to use this platform to hold them accountable, then we need to really, zero into the situation on the ground, generally, the outcomes of governance. The case of President Mahama when he was in government, the outcomes, the figures that, Dr. Bawumia himself related to at that time. The case of Dr. Bawumia, he is also in government. He's the vice president. So what is the situation on the ground? Then you want to move away from theoretical, conceptual issues to empirical, specifically holding them accountable, for what they have done, for the work they have done, and not necessarily give them the opportunities, if you like, to tell our stories, to relate to theoretical issues.
So to the Ghanaian voter, to the Ghanaian voter, it's more of a bread and butter issue than more of a topics and debates.
Yeah, I want to look at the situation on the ground and ask people to tell us why we are where we are, irrespective of the fact that a lot of money has come into the system. You want to zero into the issues of galamsey, and here every Ghanaian who really wants to look at the situation objectively knows that this is something that should be in Ghana's capacity to handle. Galamsey is not something driven by external factors. It's purely domestic. Why do we still have this one for now? We need to ask them these questions. We need to ask them about, questions about food situation, the amount of food that Ghana imports. Why do Ghanaians go to Burkina Faso to buy tomatoes? Let's ask them specific issues about government, during their time in government. If we were to have debates, let's zero into these practical issues that affect the lives of Ghanaians, and not necessarily give anyone the opportunity to come and tell our stories. No, I think those things should be past and gone. People have told a lot of stories, in time past. Are they going to get away with it? Yeah. I think we should hold them accountable for all those things that they said. Why did they say what they said? For example, suggesting that they were going to move away from a system based on taxation to production. Why is it that currently the system of tax we have in Ghana is outrageously high? People import things into the country, and the government takes so much money from them. By the time they bring their goods out, they are already outrageously expensive. So what happened? What was the understanding at the time they made those pronouncements?
Okay.
So if we are going to have debates, I'm interested in who are going to write the questions that will be asked those people. And let me be blunt here. IEA, can we take IEA as an objective body that should mediate in cases of this nature? Is IEA objective? How do we see IEA's boss in the office of the Electoral Commission, the pronouncement, the conduct, the posture? We are interested in all this because we are going to take one of the most significant decisions.
Great.
So if we are going to have debates at all, they just announced, on international media that, and they put it this way, that President Trump, former President Trump and Vice President Kamala have agreed to have a debate. That is how that information came out. And how did IEA put out their, information, their desire to hold a debate? How did they do it? Then this is complaining that they were not necessarily, consulted, that the flag bearer knew nothing about it. So how could they go out and suggest that, people should have a debate? And my question is the IEA not political? Is the IEA an objective body, seeking to do this? So these are crucial issues.
Issues that we need to look at to give the debate its objective color that it looks at. Thank you, Prof. Doc. I'll quickly come to the studio and then get back to you. Sami, Doc has raised very, very, very key points that has to engage the voters' thoughts going forward. First off is the point that it's not much to do about stories, but bread and butter issues, the real issues that confronts the voter. What do you think are the issues that affect the voter that should really catch our attention?
Yes, I think Doc mentioned them, but whether we like it or not, debate will always be limited to words. They come to debate with their words. They come to debate with their communication skills. You get the point? So one can be a very good debater, but not necessarily a good leader. Your ability to speak fluently, your ability to analyze situations and put forward good suggestions and whatever answers, it's not that which will solve the issues bothering Ghanaians. So that's why I'm saying that the debate is good, but it's not the panacea to Ghanaians getting a good leader or good leadership. As a leader, yes, you must be able to communicate. But the very, very and the most important quality of a leader is your integrity. If you can speak fluently and you not go by your words, what's the sense of it? And again, with the debate, they have just about 2-3 hours to come and talk about all the issues concerning our country. Is the time enough? No. You cannot exhaust all those pertinent issues within 3 hours. And again, it's not just about two candidates, the kind of debate we have here. If you have three, let's say, the last time you had about 11 presidential candidates. So if you're going to have 11 people come and debate within 3 hours or 4 hours, will you be able to get anything substantial from them?
And sometimes you realize that Ghanaians are only interested in the major ones, their policies that they are telling us.
Yes, because they think that those are the two parties that can probably win the election. You understand? So yes. So for me, the debate is good, but the time is not enough to exhaust. And one's ability to speak well does not really mean that the person can be a good leader. And again, yes, we need to hold our leaders accountable. One will promise you something, but if you don't make sure that that which was promised is delivered, it will remain in the books or it will remain on the tape, and it will not bring you anything better. So as voters, this is how we can hold our leaders accountable. Yes, indeed, I voted for you. And let me make this point, it's very important. They say, oh, if you vote for the other parties, you will spoil your vote. But what is a spoiled ballot? A spoiled ballot is the one that the EC will say, as for this one, I'm not going to count it because I cannot determine where the vote is going to. So when you cannot interpret the mind of the voter, that is when the ballot has to be put aside. So maybe the person has trumpeted on more than one.
That is a spot ballot.
There's no thumbprint on it because you can't determine where the vote is going. That one too is what? It's a spot ballot. But for me, you waste your vote. When you vote for me, you say you are voting for a free year, you voted for me. I win the election, but I told you I'm going to present you Wesleyan due. After winning the election, 4 years, I've not given you the Wesleyan due. That is when you have wasted your vote. So if you vote for someone and the person does not perform, that is when you have wasted your vote. But if you vote for someone and the person does not win, no,
you've not wasted your vote.
You've not wasted your vote.
It's not spot ballot.
It's not a spot ballot. I get to the point. Yes. So we should forget that we need to vote for someone to win. No, you vote to clear your conscience. You vote to express your will that, okay, it's 𝗟𝗩𝗘 to anchor for me. That's it. That's the beauty of democracy. So after voting for me, you don't sit on the fence. When I'm going contrary to what I said, you have to strip me to line. Don't say because I voted for party A, candidate A, I don't want to say that he is not performing or what he's doing is bad. That is our problem. We vote for people and want to support even every and any, excuse my French, stupid thing they do. No, we don't do it like that. If we do it like that, we are definitely going to fail as a country. That is the problem we find ourselves in. So it's not about the debate. It's about we holding the people we vote for accountable. We have
holding the people we vote for accountable. The people we hold for accountable. So viewers, if you just joining us, you are still on the States, and we've been assessing the topic of presidential debates and their relevance or impact on the voting process as part of our electoral system that we run. We've had Dr. Amachi with us. We've also had Brother Samuel Free. When we're back from the break, which I'll be taking in a short while, we'll be looking at lessons to be learned from the debate so far, and then see if indeed Ghanaians are ready for us to continue with this debate. Stay with me. I'll be right back.
Praise God, praise God. Christ in T, you respond, yeah, addition. I'm excited to announce to you, friends in the Lord, are you seeking for a platform where you can pray? Open baby up a soul bompire. Now ninyami edi in kitahon. Bibi chroso. And I'm maybe not the same kum. And you're coming home. Let's go into the prayer room on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. to meet seasoned ministers of God that God has raised to impact your life. Remember, John Wesley said, I have too much to do, therefore I spend several hours in prayer in able to do it. That is why we are calling upon you. Meet myself, Reverend Hosea Osei, and the Evangelism Missionary Renewal Directorate as we lead you into the prayer room where we encounter Christ. And I believe your life will never be the same. Call your friends or loved ones every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. where we will encounter Christ. God bless you. See you on our screens on WTV every Friday 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. God bless you.
That each and every one of us.
Nyansa, it's Shannon Peninano, and I agent Peninano. The baby Biara and Penifuashia, Nay Shire Julian. The open Yansano, or Ben Wa, or the good year, Chadjunimo good year. And a coffee. The near surgery. Some more drop. Some polo. Somewhere, you tear bra. ɛkɔ yie frase efifirito nea ɔpɛ nyansa no ɔmɛ nkwankwa anu ase ne mpani so ayadwene ne bɛyɛ nhyira ama no ɛne ne nkyirima yɛda mo ase
da impanyini nso ayadwene Jemre na hwɛyɛn memninde ne memninde bia anopa no wɔtwe wɔ Wesleyan television so.
Welcome back, viewers. We're still looking at presidential debates, and we have been joined in the conversation by Dr. 𝗟𝗓𝗓𝗘, a senior lecturer at the KNUST, and a journalist and a voter himself, Mr. Samuel, also free. And it's been very interesting. And before we went on break, Doc, let me pick you up. Before we went on break, you were looking at the organizer of the debates, and you were asking certain questions about what will more or less, I would say, make the debate objective, that everybody will be more interested in. But I know for a fact that there's always a presidential debate committee that is set up by the IEA, and they look at the questions that come from academia, from policies, and also they interview and take the moderators. So can't we say that a little bit of due diligence is done that gives the process that objective color as we seek to look at?
Well, generally, this issue of objectivity is at times difficult to work with, given the fact that everybody votes. You know, at the end of the day, everybody votes. It means that everybody has his or her own understanding as to who should, at the end of the day, win and lead the country. Given that, you know, the issue of objectivity becomes a crucial issue. But I just said that, you know, if you like, a committee is put together by, and then you said IEA. I was looking at the IEA as a body, and if you like, subjecting them and the actions and inactions that have come from some of the leading members there, you know, in recent times, and to, you know, tell myself or ask myself questions as to, you know, how objective they have been over the years. You know, if someone really is you want to say, you know, I don't want to say the owner, but like has major control over the affairs of a body, you know, that means a lot. Politics generally is influence. So it means that, you know, those who have control, those who have so much stake, and so somehow, you know, come closer to being referred to as even like owners of the place. They have a lot of influence, and given that they are individuals, before they got into government, we want to generally give them the benefit of the doubt. You say that yes, we are then vote. And now we are privileged to have had one of them in a major constitutional body, you know, working supposedly in the interest of all Ghanaians. But some of the actions and inactions that have come from, you know, these persons of late leaves a lot to be desired. Have difficulties, you know, coming to a conclusion that they have been acting objectively in the supreme interest of the country.
That's
right. Wouldn't want to believe in that. So the IEA definitely would need to clear itself that it is indeed an objective body when, you know, it goes about these issues. And the question I asked it there, why didn't they consult, you know, the NDC, their presidential candidate, the MPP, their presidential candidate, and give them, you know, the right to say that, yes, we are ready to take part in the debate. We are not ready to take part in the debate for one or two reasons. And then they came out, you know, to announce their intention to organize such a debate.
Okay.
Without the inputs of these
people. Doc, in certain democracies or jurisdictions, we have the Presidential Debate Commission that you realize that it makes it mandatory for every presidential. So like you were asking whether the presidential candidates or aspirants were consulted, it is mandatory. So you don't have today incumbent president will say, I will not attend. I don't feel like attending. Is it about time that we had a presidential debate committee backed by any legislative or statutory document or direction for us to have debates being entrenched as part of our democracy?
I think we want to deepen our democracy in other areas rather than, harping on some of these things that are to me, generally, don't play any deep, strong roles in deepening democracy. We want to, make sure that, governance, matters. We should find ways to push whoever become, leaders to really address themselves to some of the core, challenges that the country is facing.
Rather than
trying to get that done, the debates would not be one of them. And I like, some of the, issues that, my brother, Mr. Samuel 𝗟𝗓𝐕 touched on. In a crystal clear manner, establishing a clear difference between people who can speak, people who can talk, and those who can work, those who do, who act.
So the doers.
Who deliver.
Yes.
In public administration, we say that talking is not doing.
Yeah.
So it means that the debate can be simply, deceptive.
Yeah.
We shouldn't harp on it. We shouldn't be going all out to deepen a presidential commission. No. I don't think we need that.
Okay, let me come to the studio. Sammy, Doc doesn't think that we should. There are more areas we can hold the leaders accountable than getting them to, like you said, be articulate and can speak good English. And then you wanted to touch on the debate format, more or less how moderators. You had a challenge with it that going forward, even if we are to have this area should be looked at. What did you want to?
Yes, I was saying that having moderators turn up to be ministers is something that really does not augur well for the integrity of the debate.
But at the beginning of the debate, there were no ministers. They were, they are interviewed and they are selected. So,
just like Doc said, every one of us has one way or other. We are all affiliated to, we have our inclinations, okay? Yes, we are political. So already there's this tag, there's this suspicion that, you are biased, you are biased. Even among the candidates, they think that there are certain questions that you ask that, are biased, in nature. So you don't affirm people's suspicion. So assuming Prof. Nana Genopoku had never, accepted to be a minister, and then Kojo Ponkroma also not becoming a minister or an MP on the ticket of MPP. Yes, it would have remained suspicion that you suspect you to be this, suspect you, but they have affirmed them. That's what I see wrong with the debate.
So you foresee that after this debate we'll have another minister of state moderator or what?
History can repeat itself. History can repeat itself. So that is that. But I think that, yes, Doc said it right. What we really have to do is to make sure that there are very, very important constitutional provisions, like you declaring your assets. These are some of the things we need to enforce. Some of the things as electors, as Ghanaians, we need to be mindful of. Let's put it in law that once you become an MP, once you become a minister, you don't have any right to buy any state property. You have had people become ministers, the apartment they were given to live in, the houses they were given to live in whilst they were serving the country in their capacity as ministers. They sold those properties to themselves. To the extent of even taking the state to the court and then having litigation about those properties. These are the things we need to really, really enforce. You cannot buy state property if you're a public figure. no matter how qualified you are. You know, these are the things, but not to enforce, put it in the constitution or in law that once you are a candidate, you know, as it stands now, we don't have any presidential candidate in the country. As it stands now. Nobody has presented the nomination. Nobody has filed nomination. The EC has not cleared anyone as a qualified candidate. So as it stands now in our country, we don't have any presidential candidate. You have presidential aspirants.
I wanted to ask that the IEA brings about 4 or so candidates to debate. GBC also has it where maybe they bring one more. They just bring one candidate to come in. Which of them? Whether bring so many of them on the platform or just one, but whether whether the one that GBC brings one candidate come and speak to the issues, or you have 4 of them is the best way to choose from.
I think that in the absence of anything good, anything bad is the best. So what I think will be the best, considering our circumstances now, is for you to be one man come. So that if you have 2 hours, within the 2 hours, okay, Dr. Bawumia, when you were campaigning in opposition, you said this, you said that. When you won the election for the first time, you promised this, you promised that. That one, you have ample time to subject the person's policies and programs to, you know, apt scrutiny. Okay, and then you move to the next. So I think that one will be even better than having this one here, having that one there, and it says, oh, you have given, the question has lived, you know. So maybe I think the state, you know, your channel can also look at having the debate. But even in the US, most of the some of the electorate think that the presidential debate is rather something to favor the media houses because it gives them the eyeballs, it gives them the following, but really they do not really.
That's okay. That's an observation that I think it's worth noting. Let me come to Doc. Doc, your final words on the conversation so far.
Let me, pick what Sami just put out concerning his understanding of the form the debate should take, and place mine in if you like, a slightly different context. That they should present themselves before the media, houses. They should present themselves before the media houses. In a way, go in front of them and simply subject themselves to that scrutiny. Subject themselves to that scrutiny and simply we all watch and pay attention to them. This debate, when it is organized, I don't have faith in it. I don't have faith in it. We should move. The Americans are having their debates. Okay, it's working for them. That is their system.
Yeah.
In Ghana, we don't necessarily have to have the American type of debates. No. Politics has to be domestic. We should look at our circumstances and do what will benefit us. Yeah. So I think they should simply go before the media. They should go before the media and allow the media to ask them questions. Allow the media to subject them to that scrutiny. I think Ghanaians will buy into that.
Oh, thank you.
We don't have to give any orator an opportunity to simply do just talking, but when placed in a context to work, to act, you are found wanting, and you come out with excuses.
Like
the conditions of Ghanaians are dire. Conditions of Ghanaians are dire.
That we need to look at. That we need to look at.
Put pressure on politicians to deliver.
The conversation will have to go on the politicians to deliver. Well, thank you very much, though. Some of your final words.
Yes, this is a Christian oriented station, so I just want to say that as Christians, we shouldn't think that election is out of place. If you look at the book of Acts chapter 1, verse 12 to 26, it talks about a situation whereby the disciples had to select one person to replace Judas. that was election. They had to vote and choose one person. So don't say you are a Christian, you don't want to vote. If you have the opportunity, if you are eligible, please make sure that you vote. But let your guiding principles be the Bible. What the Bible talks, who should be a leader. Not that my family belongs to this party or belongs to that. Let's be objective.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And we have been speaking with Dr. 𝗟𝗓𝗡, senior lecturer, political science at the 𝗟𝗓𝗡 University of Science and Technology, and then Mr. Samuel 𝗟𝗓𝗡, a senior journalist, yes, and a voter. Gentlemen, thank you very much. We've been discussing the issue of presidential debate. We've been looking at its relevance on voting as part of our democracy, and the show has been brought to you by Christian Service University. Viewers, thank you, and it is time to go. We do not take your time for granted. We appreciate sincerely, and we hope we've helped you to understand and appreciate the issues. Thank you very much. We are back on Monday. Make sure you stay well rested and stay blessed. Goodbye.